Welcome to Everyday with Jesus for October 6th. Sharing God's love. Galatians 5, verse 14. Let's look that up. All right, Galatians. This is chapter 5. The chapter title is Freedom in Christ. I'm going to read verse 1, give you a little running start. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery. Then I'm going to jump down to verse 7. The only thing that counts is faith expressing itself in love. You were running a good race. Who cut in on you and kept you from obeying the truth? That kind of persuasion does not come from one who calls you. A little yeast works through the whole batch of dough. And off to the side here I have a little bit of bad makes it all bad. So don't let any bad stuff get in. Okay, now jumping down verse 13. Here we go. You, my brothers, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge in sinful nature. Rather, serve one another in love. The entire law is summed up in a single command: love your neighbor as yourself. If you keep on biting and devouring each other, watch out, or you will be destroyed by each other. Those were some very profound words. I love that. Okay, sharing God's love. Founded in 1987, Straight Ahead Ministries has reached thousands of juvenile offenders around the world with the gospel. Not only do they lead Bible studies for the youth while they are incarcerated, but they also help the youth prepare for and adjust to life once they are released. The desire to give every juvenile offender the opportunity to hear and respond to the gospel and to grow into all that God intends them to be. One young man whom they helped put it this way: they've seen my record, but they've never judged me. They want to see you do good, and they want nothing in return. The men and the women who invest in the lives of these youth are living out Christ's command to love our neighbor as ourselves. Mark 12:31. Reaching out and loving those that others ignore or forget shows God's love not only to the ones we are reaching, but also to those who are watching. A life spent loving others as Jesus commands is a life well lived for Him. That is worth reading again. A life spent loving others as Jesus commands is a life well lived for Him. Whether it's sharing the gospel with juvenile offenders, meeting the needs of the homeless, or being a listening ear at a crisis pregnancy center, showing Christ's love to others always brings Him glory. And isn't that so true? And I just kind of love those examples. I know sometimes people think, well, I don't have a lot of money or time or skill, but you can just be a listening ear to a neighbor or even someone in the grocery store. I know one time I was looking at a lady in front of me and she just looked really down and it was a long line. So I was just like, hey, I said, how are you today? She was like, not very good. And I was like, oh, something I can help with? And she just kind of shared for 5 minutes. And when we were done, she was like, thank you. And I didn't even really do anything except listen, but that is showing love to people. So I think sometimes we don't do things because we think we can't do the big thing. You might think, well, I'm not talented enough. I'm not preaching or on stage leading worship or leading a big ministry or whatever. But you could be the grocery store line listener, that's a title, that's a thing, right? You can be that. And there's people who need that. Everywhere you go, somebody needs something. And I have found too that, just to smile. A lot of times people don't smile at people. So I walk by, I'm smiling at people. Hi, I will try to make eye contact, and sometimes I know that just really flips somebody's day around. They could be having the worst day. There's this crazy lady who walked by and smiled real big at me, and now they're just feeling better. So I hope you realize today that, you don't have to have a big ministry or be super talented to make a difference in someone's life. He just calls us to love one another. It says, don't devour one another, love one another. So let's take Him at His word today. Stop devouring and just start loving each other and just have a wonderful day, flipping somebody's day around for good. I hope you have fun doing that today, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. You can order your own copy of the Everyday with Jesus devotional book by going to davidjeremiah.org or by calling Turning Point at 877-998-0222. And I would love to answer any questions you may have about faith in Jesus. Just email me through my website, nancyjoytoyou.com. And I hope you go out and shine for Him today. See you tomorrow.